It's an exciting time here in Columbia as opening day has finally arrived for baseball. We also have some thrilling SEC basketball. All this and more on today's episode of Capital City Sports. Welcome back to this week's episode of CCS. I'm your host, Alyssa Butterson. Wednesday night, the men's basketball team looked to stay on top of the SEC as they faced the Arkansas Razorbacks. Austin Porter was at Colonial Life Arena for the game.
We're back here in Colonial Life Arena where the Gamecocks come back from beating Mississippi State in a very tough battle. The Gamecocks are 20-5 overall, and they are first place in the SEC after that win. On Wednesday night, they host the Razorbacks, who come in with an 18-7 overall record. Gamecocks win the tip-off and start off strong, taking a quick 14-point lead early in the first half, thanks to this monstrous slam by senior captains Cedarius Thornwell and Dwayne Notice. Just when you think it's going to be a blowout, the Razorbacks come back going on a 20-2 run, shooting 71% from beyond the arc. The Razorbacks led 39-32 going into the locker room. Second half underway now, and Silva gets the and one here, followed by not one, but two powerful dunks. He would eventually end up fouling out of the game, but not without scoring 16 points on 6 of 9 shooting. Thornwell continues to dominate the glass with the up and under and another slam, this time on a fast break. Gamecocks down 1, but the Razorbacks offense was too much to handle as Dusty Hanas would put Thornwell on skates and get the bucket. Hana's 20-point game would help the Razorbacks increase their lead and eventually win the game. A tough loss for the Gamecocks as the Razorbacks pull off the upset win 83-76. Senior captain Cedarius Thornwell led the Gamecocks with 27 points. However, that was not enough to stop the high-power offense of the Razorbacks, who shot 54% from the field. The Gamecocks are now in second place in the SEC Conference, but their chances are still good as they go to face Vanderbilt on Saturday at 8:30. For Capital City Sports, I'm Austin Porter.
Coming off of a tough loss to the top-ranked UConn Huskies, the women's basketball team looks to bounce back as they host SEC rival Vanderbilt Thursday night. Cleopatra Shabazz was at the game.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are back in Colonial Life Arena after a devastating loss against UConn. However, the Gamecocks are still number 6 in the nation, and they are determined to remain number 1 in the SEC. Tonight, they are hoping to ensure a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament if they can defeat unranked Vanderbilt. Taisha Harris opened the game with a 3 that kick-started the Gamecocks' offense. The Gamecocks' offensive attack was hitting on all cylinders. The Commodore's sloppy ball handling resulted in numerous fast break opportunities for the Gamecocks to capitalize on. The Gamecocks had a balanced scoring attack that was led by Elena Coates and Kayla Davis, who each scored 15 points. Alicia Gray became a focal point in the second half. The Gamecocks were too much for the Commodores to handle as they would pull away by a final score of 82-51. After tonight's victory, the Gamecocks are 12-1 in the SEC. They were led by Elena Coates and Kayla Davis, who both scored 15 points apiece. There were 5 players on the team who were in double figures, and the team had a combined total of 19 assists. The Gamecocks also forced Vanderbilt into 20 turnovers. This Sunday, the Gamecocks will be traveling to Columbia, Missouri to face Missouri. From Capital City Sports, I'm Cleopatra Shabazz.
The Gamecock baseball team kicked off their 2017 campaign at home this weekend with a series against UNC Greensboro. Claudia Chikamian was at Founders Park for opening day.
It's finally baseball season here at Founders Park as South Carolina hosts UNC Greensboro in opening weekend. The Gamecocks are hungry for more after falling just short in the Super Regionals last season. Junior pitcher Clark Schmidt reclaimed the Friday night starter spot after being dominant all of last year, as the 2017 Road to Omaha is officially underway. Founders Park was sold out Friday night for the 49th time in park history, and the crowd was as excited as ever. Clark Schmidt got things going by throwing a strike as the first pitch. TJ Hopkins kept the energy going with a leadoff double in the first. Alex Destino plated him with a single into the gap, scoring the first run of the season. UNC Greensboro pitcher Jack Maynard struggled keeping control as he threw 3 wild pitches that led to scoring Destino. The Gamecocks jump out to an early 2-0 lead. South Carolina bats got going again in the third when Cullen walked to load the bases with 2 outs, but Madison Stoke grounds out to end the inning and strands everyone. Schmidt gave up his second hit of the game in the fourth off a leadoff homer to Dylan Stewart to cut the Gamecocks' lead in half. But that wouldn't stop the Gamecocks. Williams got a leadoff walk in the bottom half of the inning, followed by a single by Jacob Olsen. Olsen moved into scoring position as Danny Blair comes to bat, and Blair comes through with a single down the right field line to score Olsen. The scoring doesn't stop here as Hopkins doubles again, this time plating 2 with just 1 out in the inning. The party keeps going as Destino doubles to the same spot, bringing home Hopkins and giving South Carolina a comfortable 6-1 lead. Fast forward to the 5th, after Olsen gets plunked by a pitch, Williams moves into scoring position, and he's later able to score off yet another wild pitch. It's now 7-1 Gamecocks. The Spartans look to make some progress, but Andrew Moritz grounds into a 5-4-3 double play. Beautiful defense right there by the Gamecocks, and they can't get anything going. Schmidt's day is done after 6 2/3 innings, giving up just 1 run on 3 hits, and he gets a huge ovation from his team and the crowd. Coley Bowers replaces him, and he delivers, sending down the first 4 batters he faced, all on strikeouts. Down to their final out, Stewart looks to do something, but he grounds out, and that ends the game. South Carolina takes Game 1, 7-1, and they get their opening night win. Here's what winning pitcher Clark Schmidt has to say about the game.
To go out there and to get a win like that today is huge, especially for the weekend. It sets a good tone for the rest of the weekend. And for me personally, I mean, it's an honor to go out there on opening day and be able to pitch. It's one of my goals, like I said, in off season, to be able to come out here on opening day and get the start. So to be able to get the nod and come out with a win I'm very blessed.
Thanks to solid outings from both Schmidt and Bowers and an offensive spark in the 4th inning, the Gamecocks got off to the start they wanted. Outfielder TJ Hopkins went 3 for 4 in the game with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. The Gamecocks look to continue this hot start as they prepare for Game 2 of the series. For Capital City Sports, I'm Claudia Chikamian.
Game 2 of Opening Day series was on Saturday afternoon. Jack Taylor has the coverage.
The Gamecocks came into this game offering an impressive victory in their opening day game against the UNCG Spartans. It was the first of the series, and the Gamecocks won 7-1. They look to replicate that score in the second game of the series here at Founders Park. The game started out with extremely stingy defense, with no runs in the first 2 innings. After 2 pop fly outs, Will Crow is able to strike out the Spartan batter to end their half. After a line drive single from Blair, it sets up a weak grounder from Hopkins, which the pitcher scoops up, but he overthrows it, allowing Blair to make it to third and Hopkins to make it to second. However, Blair is tapped out. Rowe is up to bat for the next pitch. He sends the ball down the third base line, allowing Hopkins to score off the RBI. Rowe is then tapped out to end the third. Color bounces a grounder right over the pitcher's arm, getting him to first, but the fast-attacking Spartan defense closes out the 4th inning with a crushing double play. Fast forward to the bottom of the 5th, where Bride slams one into the outfield, sending Olsen to third, but the fans wanted him to come home. They would not have to wait long, though, as Blair hits a line drive to the right outfield, sending Olsen home on an RBI, bringing the Gamecocks up 2. A few pitches later, Rowe turns what was a very risky bunt into the bases being loaded for the Gamecocks. On the ensuing pitch, Destino slams the ball into the outfield, allowing both Bride and Blair to score, making the score 4-0 with USC on top. During the 7th inning stretch, the fans described what was happening during the 6th and 7th inning, as neither team was able to make anything happen. After the Gamecocks scored another run at the bottom of the 8th, the Spartans finally get themselves on the board, making the score 5-1. The Gamecocks were able to finish the game early, shutting down UNC Greensboro and skipping the bottom of the 9th. The rain and dreary weather couldn't stop the Gamecocks from putting up a high-scoring game against the UNC Greensboro Spartans. They defeated the Spartans 5-1 and will look to sweep the series as they take on UNC Greensboro in the third game Sunday the 19th at 1:30 here at Founders Park. For Capital City Sports, I'm Jack Taylor.
Sunday concluded the weekend series against the Spartans. Thomas Gore brings us the highlight.
A bright and sunny Sunday afternoon here at Founders Park as the Gamecocks faced the UNC Greensboro Spartans for the third and final game in this opening weekend series versus UNCG. Already up 2-0 in the series, the Gamecocks look to sweep the Spartans.
Pitcher Adam Hill was looking to capitalize on the Gamecocks' momentum as he took the mound for Sunday's matchup, but things did not go perfect for Hill as he allowed the Spartan offense to get going early through the first 3 innings. Later, an error allowed a runner to score for UNC Greensboro, putting them up 1-0, which would unfortunately be the deciding run for the day and put the Spartans up for good. It wasn't all bad for Hill, though, as he struck out 7 Spartan batters and only allowed 1 hit. The Gamecock offense was not able to hold up their end of the bargain, though, as they struggled to get anything going until later in the game when Madison Stokes was able to provide some glimmer of hope for the Gamecocks with a single out to right field. But the hope didn't last long as other Gamecock batters continued to struggle at the plate to consistently get on base. After Adam Hill was relieved of his duties in the game, Josh Reagan stepped up to the mound for the Gamecocks as South Carolina was able to tighten up their defense later on. The offense would still come up short, however, and UNC Greensboro went on to win with a score of 1-0.
The Gamecocks have a quick turnaround as they face the UNC Charlotte 49ers this Tuesday here at Founders Park. South Carolina looks to continue their dominance on the mound, but they'll need more than that if they want to pick up another win. For Capital City Sports, I'm Thomas Gore.
That's all for this week's episode of Capital City Sports. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at CCS on SGTV and tune in next week. For Capital City Sports, I'm Alyssa Butterson.